Anderson here. Well, welcome to our part 6 of our Titan series. So far, you guys have been sending a lot of responses into our office and email and Facebook that you've been enjoying the series, so I'm glad you're enjoying it and you're learning something from it. So today, we're going to continue on with the foundation that we're putting on Titan and just kind of keep building on it a little bit every single time, okay? Right now, it's the 8th of March, so he's had a little over 9 months, 9 months and 8 days, so to speak, of riding, okay? This first year is all about foundation, 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 okay? So even though he's in his 3-year-old year, theoretically, I'm still classing him as he's in his 2-year-old year. The most important year, in my opinion, of a reining horse's career is that 2-year-old year. Okay, when those 2-year-olds get a great foundation on them, they get soft, supple, you can move their 5 body parts, they're quiet, they're comfortable, they're not scared. It makes that 3-year-old year go much, much easier. But if you don't do a really good foundation on that 2-year-old year, and that horse learns a lot of bad habits about being stiff on the bridle and learning how to fight your hands and your legs, it makes that 3-year-old year, a lot of work and just not a lot of fun, okay? So you'll notice today that I'm riding Titan in a little one-handed bridle here, a little shank bridle. It's, when I transition a horse from a snaffle into a shank bit, I actually use a snaffle mouthpiece. So this is the same mouthpiece, just a smooth snaffle as what a snaffle bit would have, but it's just got a little tiny shank on it. And the shank's not very long. And I don't want a lot of shank on it because the longer the shank, the more leverage you have on the horse. And at his age and his training, where he is in his training, too much bit would overwhelm him, okay? If you put too much bit on a horse, it scares them rather than builds their confidence, okay? So I'm gonna ride him in this bit here. I've probably had him in it probably 3 or 4 weeks now, and I'm gonna ride him in this probably for the next 2 to 3 months, and then I'll step up to another bridle that's got a little bit more stiffness to it, meaning that it's not so loose in the middle, maybe a little longer shank, etc., okay? So I'm still following a lot of the basic principles that we've already done up to this point. Teaching him, I do the pulling, you do the giving, okay? Today what I want to do is show you just a couple more different type of exercises I'm working on with him. For the next 3 months, after I get done showing you what I'll do today, nothing's really going to change for about the next 3 months. Everything that I do on him, I pretty much already showed you, except I want to practice it more. So he just needs more practice of the same basics, moving his body parts, getting soft and supple, etc. So I'm going to show you a couple other things, new things today that I'll do with him. But after today, it's pretty much just stay practicing what I've already kind of shown you guys for the next 3 months. And then at that point, he'll be close to being ridden for a year. And that's when we'll kind of step him up to that next level of his 3-year-old year, where everything will be a little bit harder for him. He'll have to put in more effort, run a little faster, turn a little faster, etc. So even though I've got him in a shank bridle, I'll still start out every day doing a little bit of flexing from side to side. I want the chain underneath his jaw, it's got just a curb strap or a chain. I want it to be real loose. I want it to be loose enough that you can easily get 4 fingers loosely between his hair on his jaw and the chain. So that way, when you pick up on that shank, it has a lot of signal before the chain actually comes into contact with his jaw. If that chain is real tight, it can have a tendency to scare a horse and not give the horse much signal that you're about to pick up on the rein. So I like it real loose. Looser is better than too tight, let's just say that, okay? So I'm still gonna get on him every day, work on a little bit of our flexing here side to side. I may not take him around quite as far around in my foot as I did, in the previous lessons, but I'm just making sure that when I get on him, he still gives to that bridle, he's nice and soft, etc. Okay? So our warm-up today, I want to kind of show you a couple of new things that I'll start doing with him, okay? I always, every day when I get on him or any of my horses, the first couple of minutes I just bend them around that inside leg, make sure they're nice and soft and supple. They're listening to my inside rein, inside leg, and they'll bend around it, okay? This is always something that I'm going to continue to do and is bend them around my inside leg when I first get on him. Just walk him off on a big loose rein and then slide my hand down. If he feels stiff at all or heavy in the face, I'll go to his belly with my leg, with my foot and my spur to bend that rib cage. The softer you get a horse through their ribs, the lighter they are in their mouth, okay? So for his warm-up today, I'm going to do a couple of things. I'm going to jog him around, and you'll notice that I've bridged my reins. Like I've got this tail over this side of his neck, and the right rein, the tail of it's over his left side of his neck. And I'm just going to jog him around and just start to introduce more of that neck rein to him, okay? And the reason why I like to bridge my reins is so that when I change hands and I go the other way, I can actually draw that rein across his neck and get him to feel that rein coming across. So watch, I'll change hands and I draw it across his neck. And then if he doesn't look that way, I can help him with that inside rein, that inside little finger, and draw it across. So with these 2-year-olds, I try to make neck reining real simple for him. If I want to go right now, I change hands, I draw it across his neck, and see, I love that. That time, I've already been doing this for about a week or two. He actually looked in then before I even had a chance to help him. So I'll just kind of serpentine the horse kind of all over, like right there, he didn't look in. So I'll pull it back to my hip here and make sure I bump that nose in. See, when you start neck reining, the horse has got to learn to get their direction and their shape from the outside rein, which is not natural for a horse, okay? So when I turn left now, when I lay that rein on his neck, see how he changed arcs without me having to use that inside rein. Ultimately, that's what we're looking for, but obviously we need to be able to do it at the jog and the lope and eventually the gallop. So I just kind of wander around the arena just real casually, like he doesn't hold his shape as good to the right. So just then I kind of bumped that inside rein. I rolled that inside spur on his belly and said, okay, I need you to bend your ribs, please. So I'll do some circles, I'll do some serpentines with him. I don't really have any set pattern. I just want to practice. There, I love that time when he felt that rein. And the reason I bridge my reins is so that I can hold my hand over both reins like this, and I've got that ability to use that inside fingers to help his nose look in. Okay? So I kind of just do the opposite of what they want to do. And I've been practicing this for a couple of weeks, and he's picked up on it real quick. Every day I try to make my warm-up just a little bit different. Horses are like little kids, they get bored quickly. So every day I change my warm-up slightly. It's still 5 to 10 minutes of jogging them around and loosening up their muscles and just double checking their soundness. But I never do the same warm-up more than, say, 2 days in a row. If I don't like something, if he feels a little stiff in a certain body part, I'll certainly work on that for a couple of days, maybe 3 at the most. But if everything's going well, I don't want to do the same warm-up more than a couple of days. Now, eventually, obviously, when you go to show him, as an older bridle horse, you have to keep one finger between the reins, and you can't cheat by having your hand in between the reins like this. That's fine, but for right now, our job's to teach him. So I'm going to go straight, I lay it across his neck. Now, right then, when I laid that across his neck, he was kind of looking over at the cameraman over there, and he wasn't paying attention. So turn him loose. I love how he just drops that big old neck down there like that. That's him, that's where it's comfortable. Now watch, I draw it across, and that time he went left and looked in. So as long as he feels that rein on his neck, he should keep going that way. Now I'm gonna draw it across his neck and go straight. Now I'm gonna go this way. And every once in a while, your reins might get a little long, so you might have to shorten them up just a little bit. Now to keep him on his toes, every once in a while, I'll just draw to my hip like that and just make sure that he'll move those shoulders. So whenever I want to, I'll take that neck rein a little bit more and just say, hey, Titan, let me ask you, will you, if I draw this to my hip, good, I love that. See the slack in the inside rein? I just want to make sure that if I draw that rein to my hip, which basically means I add a little bit more neck rein, I want to make sure that he'll actually turn in. Draw it here, now that's better. I love that. And I don't necessarily want to turn him fast. Excuse me. I just want to make sure he'll respect it. And also just jogging him straight like this, and I'll just go hip shot and just see what he does. I'm not using any leg on him, just that outside rein. Now, if I need to use my leg, I will, but I want to see just how well he's listening to that neck rein. So as long as I would Now right here, I'm using my inside leg. He felt like he got a little stiff there at the end. So anywhere that he feels that neck rein come across, like right here, there. Now he's a little overbent in the turnaround, but that's all right. I'm not worried about that right now. What I'm worried about, it's easy to straighten a horse up. It's hard to get one to bend and soften in a turnaround. So just making sure that I can take him left and right and he'll honor that neck rein. It's just a handy little exercise to make sure that they're coming off that rein. And I like it because it's kind of, it's real low, it's real steady. Like if I just draw it across his neck, see the first thing he did just then is he looked in and he went that way. I'm not helping him with any leg. I just want to see if I draw that across his neck, like here he's a little stuck. So I help him with my outside leg. Let's try that again. When I draw it across, I need him to connect it to his feet. We'll try it again. When I draw it across, that was better. That time he looked in and he went that way. So again, this is just building, you know, a lot of people email me and say, Clint, how do you teach your horse how to neck rein? Neck reining is not like you just do this exercise and they just get it. Neck reining is like over a year. You keep fiddle-farting around with them over a year and then they know how to neck rein. It's not something that you just do this and then they neck rein. It's like a constant building block. Ultimately, you should be able to hold your hands around the rein, and if you draw across his neck, see how he's a little confused there? I had to help him with that inside rein. Okay, ultimately, if you just drew it across, not bad. He looked out a little bit just then, but not bad. Again, he's kind of new at it. But you want to get it to where you can just lay that rein and he just goes. See, ultimately, if I'm going to turn right and he's in a bridle, when I lay that right rein on his neck, the first thing that should turn is his nose looks in. That's true neck rein. When you got a horse guiding correctly, when you lay the rein on the neck, the first thing that moves is their nose tips in. They look that way and then they go that way. Now, how much they go that way depends on how much you draw the rein across their neck and how much of the outside leg you use. If you want them to turn sharp, you might have to use a little more outside leg. But horses that neck rein badly is when you yank the reins across, like look at the old Western movies when, where are the enemy? And, they go, they're over there and they just yank the reins across the horse's neck. The horse looks the wrong way, but he looks right and goes left. Okay, that's not neck reining. That's just poor horsemanship. Good horsemanship and a horse that's really broke should never look the opposite way that they're going unless you're reverse arcing in or counter bending. Okay, so eventually, a year from now, he's got to be in the center of the arena, and I've got one finger between the reins like that. When I lay that rein, not moving, is he? Then I've got to help him with that leg. Okay, so I've got finger in between the rein, I lay that rein, there, not too bad. He went that time without me helping him. And again, he's got a long way to go before he has to do that really well, okay? But we just start chipping away at it. Thanks, mate, for watching our Titan series. I hope you've enjoyed it. Remember to subscribe below so we can keep you updated on Titan and the method.